Are you guys looking for broccoli and cheese in a bread bowl that is both delicious, keto, and gluten-free? This thing's got everything you want. Come on, let's get some cooking going on.
Bigfoot Cooking.
Yeah, I bet you're wondering how we're going to make a bread bowl and keep this keto. Well, that little secret comes at the end. But for now, we're just going to concentrate on the soup because the soup is like really the star of this show. I mean, you don't have to have a bread bowl, but you know, it just, I don't know, there's something satisfying about eating the bowl that you're eating the soup in. Call me crazy, you know? But for this, we're going to need one big old head of broccoli. That's right, I got that guy standing up all nice and pretty. It's ready for the soup. But we got our head of broccoli. I've got about 2 tablespoons. You may need a little more up to your flavor palette. But 2 tablespoons of butter. I've got an onion. I've got at least 4 cloves of garlic. Now, like I say, if you're a garlic lover, go for more, but at least 4 of them, right? We've got about half a teaspoon of salt, pepper, and paprika to give it just a little something. But again, if you want to put like some chili flakes to bring up the heat in this thing, nothing's stopping you, right? Again, make these recipes yours. I'm just giving you a direction. To that, we've got 2 cups of chicken broth, at least a cup of cheese. Now, in this case, I've got, well, there's the cup mark. You know, I like my cheese. So that right there is a mix of cheddar and Colby right there. And I've got a half a cup of whipping cream or heavy cream, however you call it. Mixing all this together with the right combination, we're gonna have us an absolutely great broccoli soup. So step 1, let's get started by cutting up the broccoli because that's what's gonna take a few minutes. Now, I know most of you guys are used to eating the top part and most of the time you throw away the bottom, but there actually is a way to save the bottom, add it to it, and not have that woody, stalky flavor to it. Step 1, of course, will be to cut all the florets off of the main stalk. And for that, that's right, we're getting knifey. And I'll tell you what, this knife, it's by Cutlux. I got this a couple weeks ago and I have really liked this thing. It's got a good weight to it. It's really sharp when you get it out of the box. Now, what you do with it from that point, well, you're gonna have to learn how to sharpen a knife, come on. But right off the bat, I really like the feel of it, and I'm cutting my steaks at dinner with this big old thing. It just, I don't know. It's got a really good weight to it. But that's not getting this cut, is it? So let's do some chop fooey. You know, we always tell the grandkids, you got to eat your trees when we're at dinner, right? Because, you know, they do kind of look like trees. But basically from here, I want to bust these up into pretty much bite size. You don't want a giant piece of broccoli. Just, you know, if you're eating soup, you want to eat soup, not, I don't know, something a little more solid than soup. All right, so that takes care of our florets. Florets, is that the right word? Fancy terminology. This takes care of the top of the tree. Now, for this monstrosity here, we're gonna go ahead and cut it down into chunky bite size. We're gonna put these into the blender later on. So it doesn't really matter, same thing with the onion. It doesn't matter how tight, you don't have to like mince it or anything like that, but you do wanna get this down to a little bit smaller size so that way while we're cooking it, it stirs up nicely. So chop, chop, chop once again. There we go. It's a rough, ugly chop, but honestly, for this part, that's all we need. Now, let's do the onion. So you know your knife is good and sharp when you can cut onions, no tears. That's when you got a good blade on this thing. So we got our broccoli bottoms and we got our onions. Let's go ahead and get this boy a-heating. Time to get a little fire going. Oh yeah, love the heat. We'll set this down to about halfway here. Set our cast iron right on top of it. Oh yeah. And now, we're gonna apply our butter to the situation. We're gonna take, it's room temperature. It has definitely gotten soft, that's for sure. All right, butter's melting down. Let's go ahead and add these guys because they're the ones that are gonna take the longest. So of course, we apply them first. Now the onions, you know, you cook until they're translucent. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these stalks for the broccoli and we're gonna let them go until they soften up some. Like I say, this may take a couple minutes, so, you know, don't be in no hurry, take your time. That's a lot of cooking. You take your time, you enjoy it. If you rush through everything, okay, you made it to the finish line. Congratulations. Do you enjoy the trip? All right, we've had this going for a few minutes, and let's see what we got. Whoosh. We got us some steam, and we got us some of them brown bits forming at the bottom, which is exactly what we've been looking for. This is starting to loosen up and get a little soft. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna take our garlic, whole as it is, and just set that in there. No need to chop it up in this case. Again, we're hitting the blender later. So we got that in there. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna give this about maybe 3-4 minutes, let the garlic warm up, and then we're gonna deglaze the pan. That's right, we are getting it all on this one. All right, now that we've given this a few minutes to make the garlic happy, here's what we gonna do. Because, oh yeah, this is looking just right. We're getting that stuff on the bottom that don't wanna just come right off. Not a problem. We're gonna take about half of our chicken broth and pour it in here. And what that's gonna do, that's gonna help bust loose some of that stuff on the bottom. We'll just get it in here and give it a stir around and get that fond to fondant. Now, part of the reason why I saved some of the chicken broth, I hate putting stuff that's really hot inside of a blender. I don't know, maybe it's a mental thing. I'm afraid it's gonna melt out of the bottom of it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take about half of this. So we've got 1 cup already in here. I've got a cup left, and I'm gonna put about half of it into here. So that way I got a little bit of liquid in it, and I'm gonna grab my spider here. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna fish out all these things that we've been cooking away and put them right in here. That's right, we're gonna do the blending. All right, we'll go ahead and cut this off for a minute just to save on the gas. Now, this thing, it's ready for some high-speed fun. That's right, we're gonna puree this guy. You ready? Let's see, power button, and woohoo! All right, about 20 seconds there. Let's go ahead and pour in the rest of this now. That way we got a little more to blend with. See, the good thing about this is all the thick woody parts, well, it's destroying all of that between the cooking and the blending, makes it nice and smooth. So let's see, another 20 seconds on high here. All right, now we can take this goodness here and just pour it right back in here. And what we're gonna do now is take this deliciousness that we've got here. Well, it's time to add to it. It is ready for the broccoli. All the florets. Y'all come on, join in. That's right. Time for these guys to cook up and get all nice and soft, don't you think? All right, everybody's under the liquid. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna let this go for 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know, play it by ear. But we're just gonna let this sit here, and we'll check it periodically and see if they start to loosen up. Because you don't want to cook the broccoli until it's just mush, but you do want to lose some of that firmness to it and make it where it just makes a nice smooth soup. I tell you what, it's amazing how just a few minutes in the heat and these things turn the brightest shade of green you've ever seen. Not quite yet, still a little tough, but let's go ahead and put our spices in, our salt, pepper, and paprika. That way it can start to marry and get happy with everything we got going on here. So I gave it the old taste test, and it needs just a little bit more. So I'm gonna add another pinch of salt to the mix. All right, things are looking absolutely great. I checked it a second ago. The flavors are good. Whoosh. The steam is good. Oh yeah, we are right on the money. Let's see, I can go ahead and pretty much turn this off. The reason why you wait before you add this is you don't want it to curdle. So now that this is done, in goes our whipping cream. And of course, the cheese. Dum dum. And again, I don't know if it's possible to actually put too much cheese. I mean, if one of you wants to try for the world record on the cheesiest broccoli, let me know how it goes for you. You got my vote? And there you have it. Broccoli and cheese soup. But wait, you were wondering about the bread bowl, right? I hadn't forgot you, don't worry. I got that guy sitting right here. That's right. That's right, this guy right here. It's a Fathead Keto bread bowl. And it actually is freaking amazing. The recipe is somewhere on one of these corners, but when you get done making this, you make this, you put the two together. Oh, it is a beautiful thing. Let's go ahead and ladle up some of this creamy, that's right, got the heavy on the creamy broccoli here. Put it into our bowl. And would you look at there? That is goodness waiting. Now, I already know I gotta wait because you see the steam coming off of this? It'll take the first layer right off of my tongue. So I'm gonna let this cool off for a minute, get some pictures for the thumbnail, and we'll be right back.
There, I did it. I got the whole thing put together. It only took me a week. Tell you what, I should do this for a living. I could make some bank. Whoop whoop, whoop whoop indeed.
Gave it a few minutes. You know, that was long enough for me to clean up a little bit around here. But now, let's see what we got. We'll take a piece of the bread we carved out of it, dip it in here, of course, and get a little taste. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see, gotta grab me a little bit of the broccoli this time. I actually did it. I let this cool down enough to where I could eat it. And you know, the coolest thing about a bread bowl, you get done with a soup, and then the soup has absorbed into the bread, and you're eating the bread, and it's like you're eating the bread, the soup, everything all at once. Oh, this is pretty daggum stuff. And to be keto, and to be as tasty as it is, well, I'm gonna taste this while we all think that Bigfoot's real, and we're gonna enjoy our day. Y'all take care. I am eating. At least a cup of, in this case, I'm using not pepper jack. Yeah, I bet you're wondering how we're gonna pull off the bread bowl and keep it keto, right? Well, that comes at, crap.